Don't worry, get cooking. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't worry, get cooking.
Hi guys, happy Sunday and welcome back to my channel. Don't worry, get cooking. For today's recipe, we're going to make a really simple dish, Cotolette alla milanese, or in English, I think they're called chicken parm. It's a super simple recipe that, as usual, needs only 4 ingredients and takes a really limited amount of time. So stay tuned and let's get cooking. So as usual, let's start with our ingredients. First, we'll need rose fillets. So the traditional recipe calls for thicker fillets that have a bone and that we usually bring home, pound ourselves, and make into thin fillets like this. I had the butcher do it directly, and these are actually the ones without a bone. So if you just want to make it quicker, ask your butcher. Then we need breadcrumbs, very useful ingredient in the kitchen. Eggs, we'll need approximately 5 eggs, and butter. Okay, so let's start by preparing our bowls. We'll need 1 bowl for the eggs and 1 bowl for the breadcrumbs. So let's start by breaking the eggs in here. A full egg, no need to separate the yolk and the egg whites. Then we add breadcrumbs to the other bowl, enough to create a 2 centimeter layer, like this much. And now let's whisk the eggs with a fork. Before we start creating the cotolette, take another baking tray and layer it with baking paper. So we're gonna start our 3-step process. What I usually do for cotolette is I make a double breading. So I'm gonna dip them in the eggs and the breadcrumbs twice to really make an even layer of coating of breadcrumbs on top. So let's put the fillet in the egg, submerge it completely. Pass it into the breadcrumbs, flip it, add it to wherever it's missing, and layer it on our tray. Repeat the process for all of them. Before we repeat the same process for the double crumbing, we're going to add some more breadcrumbs. And we do it again. Dip them in the eggs. And through the breadcrumbs. This is your last pass through the breadcrumbs, so make sure it's coated evenly. Sprinkle some breadcrumbs on top if necessary. Okay, so for the cooking we have 2 options. We're either going to put them in the baking tray I showed you before with baking paper and put them in the oven with some olive oil on top, or we're going to directly fry them in a pan with a little bit of butter. I'm going to show you both techniques and then you can decide. This one's a bit heavier, this one's a bit lighter and healthier. Okay, let's drizzle these with some olive oil. And let's place them in the oven for approximately 20 minutes at 170 degrees. Okay, let's get started frying the rest of the cotolette. We're gonna add a little knob of butter, this much, to a frying pan and let it slowly melt. Add some rosemary along with it, just to make the butter a bit more flavorful. Okay, so after the butter melts, it will start browning a little bit. And once it starts sizzling like this, we'll add the first cotoletta and we'll make them one at a time. There we go. Try and lay it as flat as you can. My pan is not too big, but if you have a bigger one, that's better. After 3 minutes on one side, we'll flip it. Look how brown and golden it became. And let it sizzle on the other side as well. After 3 minutes on the other side, it's ready, and we transfer it to a plate. Now let's repeat the process again for the second one. Butter. Rosemary. Obviously this butter will melt much quicker, but that's fine. We're gonna open the oven after 10 minutes of cooking and flip them around. I also add a little bit more olive oil to make them more moist. And they're gonna stay in the oven for maybe 5 more minutes. And here they are, our 4 cotolettas. These are the 2 pan fried with butter. As you can see, they're a bit more golden brown. And these are the ones that we made in the oven with some oil. 20 minutes in the oven at 170 degrees, flipping them halfway through. And these need to be cooked 5 minutes, 3 minutes on one side, 2 minutes on the other with some butter and rosemary. Thank you so much for following my video today for these beautiful cotolette alla milanese. And if you like what you saw, don't forget to click the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next week for another delicious recipe. Bye!